Good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Oh, there's a big group on already. We're all chomping at the bit now. I think the weather is just universally getting a bit better. And it is so exciting. Doesn't it just fill you with relatively, right? It doesn't fill everybody with energy right off the bat, but it's certainly a great sign, and it just feels like there's lots of promise and possibilities and just opportunities when the weather gets better to be out there. I feel like this is my chance to maybe exercise, lose the 35 pounds from this past year. Maybe it's time. But oh, it's just gorgeous having this beautiful weather in Connecticut. It's just warm, sunny, not jacket weather at this moment. It's nice to see the kids out there getting some action too. It's just better, isn't it? So, good morning, Heather. I know you're feeling the same thing because we're having the same exact weather. We're just a few minutes apart. Trisha, New Hampshire. How are you, Trisha? Trisha, when you get a chance, tell me what places you go shopping around there because I am going to take a road trip this weekend. I'm going to head up to Vermont. I wanted to do Pennsylvania, but like I said on Zoom yesterday, it's just like a 6 hour or more drive. So I don't know if I don't feel like I can do a many night thing this weekend. So I think I'm just going to go to Vermont where there's lots of antiques. I think the Green Mountain store is closed, which is a bummer, but there'll be other stuff, right? And I can search for rugs, and the weather's supposed to be beautiful. But Tricia, if you think of it, let me know what places you go in New Hampshire because I think um, is the Woolly Fox in New Hampshire? What's her name? Barbara Carroll. Is that in New Hampshire? Just wondering what's up there for a future road trip. Robin, good to see you in Wisconsin. The snow is almost completely gone. I love those flowers that you made there. That is so nice. Kimberly, good morning from warm, windy Northwest Ohio. Yeah, right? Um, Warm and windy. That's a nice combo, though. That's a kind of Gilbert and Sullivan kind of feel. It's got some good motion. It's got some good imagery there. That sounds okay. Very windy too. Okay, so you're getting wind out that way. I'm not seeing that here. The shingle, because this is like an officey type building, crappy building. The shingle makes this crazy howling banshee type noise when it's windy. So there's none of that. So I guess we're getting no wind at all. Maybe the wind is headed our way. Catherine in Idaho, good to see you. We had a fun time on Zoom yesterday. It's so fun chatting. Martha, I loved hearing about those buttons. Martha has a massive button collection that she inherited from her mom, and just a story of getting them, acquiring them, asking for them, getting these old cans and containers of buttons just totally just filled me with interest and excitement. Just the idea of it, going to a place and asking for the thing that you're looking for, and having somebody hand you this big mysterious can that anything could be inside. It's exciting. I loved hearing about the buttons, and I wish I would have heard one of your talks about buttons. I was thinking maybe it would be nice in the next month or so if we think about doing something. I know not everybody's on Facebook, but I'm so interested in what other people are interested in too, and not all of it is rug hooking. There's so many crossover things. Like I found the buttons super interesting as a sewing sort of accessory, and it's a decorative thing. It fits into my sort of set of interests, and I just wonder what things you all are into, and if we could somehow figure out some kind of a framework for sharing them, sharing information, or even doing tradesies and things like that. I mean, who knows? Maybe we can work on that idea because. Yeah, I'd like to reach out more and see what everyone else is doing. When I put these earrings on today, these tin can earrings from like a biscuit tin, it made me think, does anybody make tin can earrings or jewelry? Because I could use more of this in my life. And if you make it, I want to buy it. I love wearing these things, and they're super light. So, more of that. Let's do more of that in the future, crossing over with each other. Carol, good morning. Good morning, Carol. I have an answer for you. I'm going to do that as soon as I'm done. There's a lot of questions about the rugs I posted this morning, and I have a ton more. I'll show you a few more in a minute. These Adopt Me rugs, there's lots. And I know if there's a special one that you want, the people who asked this morning already, I'm coming back to you with sizes, prices, and more photos. It's really hard with these floor size rugs to get them up on the clamps. It's like an episode of like Three's Company, just like climbing up on the ladder and trying not to fall or step on something unstable and get them up on the clamp. It's hard. So I love showing them here, and then having people say I'm interested because it saves me about 45 minutes per rug photographing and getting everything right. So I'll do that in just a minute. Sharon, good morning. I haven't seen you for a little while. Good to see you. Penny, good morning. How are you? Sunny North Carolina. Linda, good morning in Massachusetts. I bet you're having a beautiful day too. Oh man, Beverly, good morning everyone in frosty Washington Beach. Well, we're getting there though. Is it as frosty or is it backed up a little bit? Oh, I have to show the swatches today too. Beverly, you just reminded me. April, good morning. Donna, good morning in Alberta. Wonderful time at the Hook-In yesterday. It was fun. Everybody's so interesting. Everybody says such interesting stuff. I just love it. Donna, I just realized we're both DD, and I wonder if you had the same types of jokes growing up that I had being a DD. There was lots of broad jokes, but there were also like the Dungeons and Dragons jokes and the Dunkin' Donuts jokes. There was lots of DD jokes that could have lived without. Mom, there you are. I had a little crossover exchange with you this morning. Love you. Can't wait to see you. I just sent my mom a great package of a bunch of things that she ordered, so that's on the way. Sheila, good morning. It was great to have you on Zoom yesterday. I loved chatting. Linda, good morning from the Garden State. It's about to show itself, isn't it? All those flowers. It's probably just around the corner. On the way to Cape May. Oh, are you on the way to Cape May, Linda? You just reminded me. I have to, Mom, I have to push our thing back because we were supposed to be fools and go on April Fool's Day, and I think you probably want to push it back because your shot's coming up. Oh, Linda, tell me more about that. That's super interesting. Morning, Jay. He's just in the other room behind me. Amber, good morning. Thank you for catching that stupid thing that I did this morning. You catch me a lot, and I appreciate it. You are always there for me. Avery, hello, sunny Gainesville, Florida. Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? Welcome, Avery. Chrissy, good to see you. Love the wool with my coffee time kit. Oh, good. I'm glad you like those colors. I tried to give you ones that were similar to what I had because I think that's what you wanted. So I'm really glad you got that. And I got your other stuff coming too. Marilyn, hi from Indiana, Marilyn. Great to see you. Wendy, great to see you. You got your new lap frame in the mail. Okay, good. Yep, I post a lot of when I see good frames, I post listings right away because I know in our group, be careful if you are in the Facebook group because sometimes people respond to what I posted and I just posted it quickly because something great appeared in one of the buy and sell groups and I want this group to know. I want us to know that it's there because it's like it's like a vulture event. As soon as something's posted, people just write me, like an incomplete sentence, me. And it's hard to get stuff, so I always try to post things that I think are the most useful and the best deal as quickly as I can. So I'm glad that you caught that one. I hardly ever catch anything. Sue's good morning in Kansas. Windy. Okay, so lots of people further out west getting a lot of wind today. That's interesting. It's a Wizard of Oz kind of a day. Cindy, good morning. Good to see you. Thanks, Mom. Please give thumbs up, like, share, whatever to help the video keep going. Oh, good. Dave, good to see you. Warm today in Ontario, high 60s. That is nice. Zoom was terrific yesterday. Sometimes you get ideas just listening to people talk, and it's just such a great group. Everybody is always welcome to Zoom on Wednesdays, and I know a lot of people work on Wednesdays. So I will start doing Sunday night Zooms again. Not this weekend because I'm taking off and going away. Like a little skunk, but I haven't done it since that time in Concord when I had no internet and I was so panicked about doing that cocktail night. I haven't done it since then. So I'm going to do it this weekend, but I don't do it often. I was on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day, and I'm on all the time because I love being here too, and I love connecting with you all. But yeah, just a crazy break this weekend. Evie, good morning from Texas. Beautiful day, but you're at work at this time too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm still thinking about pushing it back to noon, wondering if that's better for people who are taking a lunch break, if people even take lunch breaks anymore. I don't know. Morgan, good to see you. Good morning in Toronto. Good, you're checking in with each other. And Joan, you are on in Wisconsin. Snow almost gone. Good. That's what Wendy just said. I think you checked in with each other to see how close you were. Good morning, Elaine. Good morning. Lori's on too. Good morning. I love to see you checking in with each other to see where you are because I haven't watched it yet. Kim, I haven't watched it yet. I'm saving it for the weekend when I can concentrate. My hands aren't shaking because I have so much to do. I really am so excited. So yesterday it came up in Zoom that the Mati, is it Mati? Women of Canada have a similar sort of rug making enterprise going. Similar, and I mean, we've been talking about Guatemala and the Maya women. And it came up, Sheila brought up that there's this amazing video on YouTube, and Kim was able to find it and post it in the group. So make sure, I think it's a long video, like an hour, something like that. So it's something you can really dig into and enjoy, get there, feel like you're there in the first person, really dig in. I'm going to dig in this weekend when I am truly relaxing. But make sure that you check that out if you are into the subject that we are talking about these days, the rug money. Now, I'm going to come to the rug money book in a minute. Hey, Teresa, crazy computer problems this week. I've heard the internet has been a thing all around. I'm sorry about that. Betty, you are on 68 in St. Catharines. Betty is in Canada. Metty, yep, that's it. Thank you, Betty. Yeah, it's a video. So again, it's on the Facebook group, and I'll try to comment on it, or you try to comment on it, anybody, so that it pops back up to the top so that people can find it. As soon as I settle down again, I'll mark it as an announcement so it stays at the top and you all can watch these Medi women doing rug making. Again, same sort of thing as we're talking about with the Guatemalan women. And side note, before I get into the book, I want to show you a couple of things. Side note, and I mentioned this in Zoom yesterday, I was thinking about the rug money, and I went on their website today to get my favorite rug, and it was sold. And I bet it's somebody watching these videos who got it. And if you got the one with the light blue background and the birds with the vase, I love it, and congrats. They're all beautiful rugs. That was an amazing composition. I chose a different one that my mom got me for Christmas next year. And that'll be great. That'll be great. They're all beautiful, but the point is that website keeps changing. So it's called Multicolor, so MULTI, one word, COLORES. More on that. But their website, they're selling small rugs, medium rugs, round rugs, large rugs, pillows, embroideries, all kinds of things, and it is ever changing. So don't think, if you sit on something or put it in your cart, it's going to be there the next day, because I did that and it wasn't. So we should all find rugs that we love and enjoy. But the point is, when I was talking about the rug money stuff, I thought about Liz Marino, who's a very well-known rug hooker, and how I saw her do her presentation on the Maya women and their beautiful rugs at one of the ATHA chapters last year before everything hit the fan. So I called her, and I have a message in with her. We're going kind of back and forth right now with phone tagging. But I said to her, can we do a coffee time together where you firsthand talk about your experience having gone down there and worked with these women and knowing them personally, and having the experience of teaching and working side by side. And she also has a bunch of the rugs still that she is selling. So she said, yes, let's do that. So I'm hoping that we can do that this coming week while it's all sort of fresh in our memory. I would love to get together with her and do a long coffee time episode where she talks about her experience and her relationships and what she took away from this huge sort of odyssey of a trip. And the beautiful rugs that she has for sale that are right here in the U.S. For those of you who are in the U.S., she's in the Berkshires, so she is in Massachusetts. So that's something that's coming up in the near future, rug for Christmas. I know I'm such a skunk. I'm already picking out my Christmas presents for next year, and my sister too. So speaking of that, let me show you one thing before I forget. Two things, actually. If you are a beginner, look on the Facebook group. I haven't worked on my rug, but I'm doing the class that's coming up later this month, the Duck Carbuncle Pond, in really nice color changing colors. This class is going to be for beginners on hooking primitive. So your kit will come with tons of colors. This is the color palette. Tons and tons and tons of colors in 5s and 8s. So we'll talk about a little bit of shading, do primitive style shading, filling in a lot of open spaces like the water in the background, what you do with your open spaces. But it's just going to be a beautiful kit, lots of beautiful colors. And we will be drawing, you'll have a thicker border than I have. You know, I always cut my borders from scraps, but my pieces from scraps. But there's going to be a 2-inch border on it. We're going to draw that in class. We're going to work on doing a sort of spontaneous design for a primitive border, because you're going to have tons of extra wool, and you might want to hook a larger border on it so it becomes an even larger rug. It's going to be a nice big piece. I think right now it's 18 or something wide, so it'll be more like 22 at its largest point. So make sure you sign up for that class before it fills up or it's too late for me to ship your things out. if you would like to do that class punch needle, just send me a message so I know that, and I will send you the same colors of wool yarn instead of wool strips. Also, the swatch kits are all going out today for those of you that are. I will set up the structure of a subscription, Swatch Club subscription next month. But a bunch of you bought the Swatch Club this month, and this is the color combo for those of you that it's hard to picture stuff. You know, it's crazy because the color combo is pretty not primary, but I've pulled. It's a lot of red, green, blue, and yellow. None of them are primary shades of those colors, but I said 24 swatches, and that was a stupid number. I did 25 swatches in the end, and for everybody that orders the swatch kit, it comes with a fiber tape surprise primitive hit or miss pattern, mystery pattern. It's the same one for everybody that gets this kit, but it's a mystery pattern. When you get your swatches, you are welcome to show what it is. But I wanted it to be a surprise for the people that ordered the swatch kits. This every month, if you do the swatch kit, you'll get a free hit or miss pattern, and it'll be a different one every month that I do that's just for that month. So you can use it or not, but I know some of you are curious about using the fiber tape anyway. This is about 12 by 9, something like this pattern. And if you have a scrap, you can experiment with this fiber tape. It's all drawn out for you. You just unroll it onto your backing, use your Sharpie to fill it in, and then you're ready to go with all your strips, just doing hit or miss action. So just for fun, you know, whether you use it or not, doesn't matter. It's just for fun. So every swatch kit, every time, is going to come with a mystery pattern, different ones for different months. I only have a couple of swatch kits left for this month. So if you are interested, make sure you either let me know or you head over to ribboncandyhooking.com. I know, Penny, it's great. These rugs are just so good. I hope that you're going on the site and checking them out because it's just a feast for the eyes, you know. Trisha, the door, I know Door. I love that one. And I know Pumpkin Ridge. What's her name? Not Haley. Is it Haley? Heather Haley. Gosh, I can't remember her name. I feel like it's Haley at Pumpkin Ridge. But that's a real pretty store too. She's almost all punch, but she does beautiful wool. I haven't been to the Wooden Pear or the Red Horse. Okay, that's good information that Door is closed on Sunday because I've done that one before, and it's not a good punchline when you get there. That's a very good reminder. Great info. Thank you so much. Looks like a very Sharon Smith color palette. What a nice compliment, Carol, because you know how I feel about Sharon Smith. Great. Well, so that is the swatch thing. Let me show you real quick a few of these rugs that I'm going to be putting up, and you let me know if you're interested. Whoever writes first, and I'm in touch with first, always gets the first whack. So this is one that I got that needs a repair. These are Adopt Me rugs. I have a ton of patterns that are new old stock. I'm trying to get those up too. I have a bunch of things that have been begun and need a home to finish. But in the meantime, this women video came from the Gabriel Dumont Institute website. Okay, good info. I know you can all see this thread, but the Medi Women the video came from the Gabriel Dumont Institute website. This is a rug that came from an antique store that I think is just gorgeous for those of you that like sort of 1930s era design or fairy tale kind of rugs. This needs a repair, but if you are into that whole Judy Taylor Save This Rug book and you are ready to go with a manageable repair, this is a good rug. This is Mary Quite Contrary, and she's watering her garden. It's a beautiful, I can't get that much further back without doing some kind of contortionist move, but it's a very, very designy decorative rug. You've probably seen this one before. I hadn't. And it has this kind of crazy spiderweb feel in the background. It's very, very, very deco. So I'm going to be listing this one, and let me show you where the problem is. Oh, here it is, right here at the bottom. One of the centers of the flower is shot right there. You see that? So that's the problem. Now, that's the Judy Taylor book. That's going to be a manageable problem. That's going to be, I'm not going to say it's easy. There's loss, like a little bit of loss in places like this, if you can see it. But that hole is the thing. That's like the play's the thing, the hole's the thing. So it's a really cute rug. I'm going to be putting that one up because I really feel like for someone who is approaching for the first time and wants to do a fix, that's a really manageable fix, you know. So, and then this one's going up today. This is one that had been done on top, like a kind of floral sampler, quite big. A lot of the flowers done. This middle one, the orchid, is done. There's lots of bits and pieces done. Two corners, the big rose, and then this flower here. That one's going up. This pretty one with the flag I'm going to put up today. This is on bleached linen, I think. I'll put all the stats on, but it's got a real pretty sort of soft flag. It says spring. That one's going to go up too. These are all large. I don't want to spend a lot of time. Now, somebody already asked about this one. So I'm going to follow through with that first. This one's already got the binding and everything on it. This is an enormous floor size rug, and the whole center medallion is done. I mean, almost the whole rug is done. It's just crazy. So yeah, that's a nice one. It's huge. It's huge, and it goes on and on and on. So I will follow through with that one. Just look at the scrolling on the border. Look at that color. Isn't that just crazy? This is a really, really nice one. And this is that lattice one. This one's going to go up too. This one's already got the tape around the edge. These are all burlap. Not the flag, but the others are. So this one's ready to go. This is a nice sampler, and it's got the tape right around the edge. Lots of bits and pieces done, but a lot not done. So it depends on what you are in the mood for. That one is ready to go. These burlap ones, you know, it's like you got to do some damage control too. If they have vulnerable areas, you might need to support them. But I feel like, you know, it's manageable work. This is a beautiful old one, and it just needs, I don't think it has any holes, but it needs help around the edges. You see how the edges are doing their thing? So it's got this kind of binding on the back, but it needs love around the edges. You're going to have to see to the edges, rewrap something, or else just hang. So that's a gorgeous one that's coming up too. That's a no damage in the center, just the edges. This one too has got some issues with edges, and otherwise no damage. Beautiful sort of oriental soft red. This kind of design. It's long and skinny, but again, just the edges having that kind of an unraveling party. So that one's going up. This one looks like it would be like a little chetty camp or something. This is definitely silk, some stockings, some different things. I'm not saying it's an anything rug, but it's got this black border on it. It's a nice little composition. It needs a lot of help on the edges. A lot of help. But it's a small piece. It's a cute piece. And somebody can save this because it's just beautiful. Somebody needs to save that. And then this one is the last one I'll show you for now. This is another beauty. This needs a lot of help. It's on burlap. It's got a lot going on like this, but it's finished. It's got a very few areas of loss in the body of it. The edges are a pig's breakfast, but if you envision yourself doing something like a footstool, that could be a good rug for you too if you want to take part of it out. So we are already super late, but it's fun to look at stuff together. Yeah, some of these rugs are just unbelievable, and I mean I have a lot. Because when people call and say they want to sell stuff, you know, I keep the stuff that I can use for kits and all that, but I can't keep everything. It turns into like, you know, like they're going to come and film a TV show and they're going to have to beat a path to me between the Doritos and the rugs, and then they're going to have to airlift me out because it's ridiculous at this point. So let me know if any of those struck a heartstring or anything. And in the meantime, let's come back to Rug Money, because we were talking about this group. The link to this book, the Amazon affiliate link to this book, is in this video. We were talking about these women and their extraordinary work. And we left off talking, I think, about Carmen. Remember how shy she was? She had never held a pencil before. And it took a lot for her to get over that feeling of panic and inadequacy. You know, it took a lot for her, and it took a lot of cleverness on the part of the teacher, Mary Ann Wise. A lot of thinking on her feet and being clever and helping her get through the idea that, you know, you can be a designer and an artist. This is just not part of life. Doing, moving, getting things done is life. These women are having an experience that is really exceptional. And so important, and they're the sort of masters of their destiny at this point with making things that there's a ready market for. It's just a wonderful chain of events. So let's return to what they're doing here. Now, I thought this was interesting, this part. This book is filled with information, and I can't cover it all, and I don't want to because I want you to enjoy. This is Carmen. Let's just look at her one more time because she is just the sweetest little thing. Kent Taylor. Let's see. Hi, Judy. Oh, Judy's on. I was just talking about you, Judy. When I log on my phone, it's my husband's account. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. We are all so familiar with frustrating computer phone insanity. It just never ends. But Judy, I'm so happy to see you. Judy is the author of books that many books we've talked about. The T-shirt book most recently, but Save That Rug. We were just looking at rugs. Using Judy Taylor's book called Save That Rug is going to be, in my opinion, the best book that you can use if you are looking to do any kind of repair on a rug. Not just repairs, but Judy, you did stuff with changing color, things like that, rehooking parts. I mean, it was filled with interesting solutions to all kinds of rug problems. And it's for the layman. It is not for somebody who already has 4 degrees in upholstery. It's for the layman. So you can pick up this book, pick up the rug that you're trying to fix, put those two things together, and you will be able to figure it out with lots and lots and lots of pictures from the book. It's very easygoing. It's a real gift having a resource like that. So anyway, let's look at Carmen, right? And she's doing these beautiful rugs. I don't know if I showed you this stunning one that she did. For someone who's not an artist, this is where you go when you're not an artist. You go shape driven, right? You put in shapes that mean something to you, stars, some flowers, and then she's just doing sort of effects with color. She's just doing sort of hit or miss, lots of striations, different colors. She's doing what she feels. She's got the T-shirts that she's got. She did like a horseshoe thing in the center, diamonds, very very stylized flowers. You know, she's doing modern art and she's doing expressionist work. And it doesn't matter if you can draw. If you have the bravery of Carmen and you are willing to put your pen onto an open paper or your backing, you can draw shapes and you can hook them that way. That's why I keep touting this beginner class, because it deals a lot with filling space, like filling background space in a primitive style. I think it's really helpful for beginners to get that confidence going, because we get a bit too fixated on filling in the lines, paint by number style. You get a bit too fixed in that mindset, and everything becomes a chore. If you can stay free, stay in that open space, stay in that keep going space, it's remarkable how much work you can get done, and it's remarkable how pretty your stuff is. So I was looking at some of the things in this book that were sort of different from the way that I approach rug cooking, particularly if I'm working on a new design or something. So there's this this board up in the classroom. Now take a look at this. So it's showing women, because not everybody's going to read either, the steps to making one of these gorgeous rugs. So using the material you have, which is like T-shirts, scarves, things like that, garments. And the second one with the house crossed through it, this one, let me read it to you because it'll be a bit more articulate. Avoid using things that are common objects and symbols that can be found anywhere. We want our rugs to look like they could have only come out of Guatemala. So interesting, right? Because we do go to, when I see hearts, I think Mennonite. You see different things and it triggers different culture or different decorative motif that's associated with a specific group or geography. So that's really interesting, number 2. We go straight from get your T-shirts, get your supplies, to try to think of a design that reflects you and your surroundings, not something that's universal, but something that's special to where we are. And I think that's a good sort of, maybe gimmick is the wrong word, but I think that's a good rule, because when you get a rug from these women, you want to think about these women and you want to share part of the experience of their life. You're sharing their time because they put like hundreds of hours into these rugs. But besides that, you want to share their experience a little. You want to sort of collect what you can of their culture. It's like a beautiful souvenir, right? So you want something that doesn't look like a Penn Dutch house, or an English garden. It's nice that it looks like something from Guatemala. So that's number 2. Number 3, you can combine figurative images like birds, geometric elements, diamond designs. So in other words, if you aren't a great artist, and it's not one of your things, because it is not any of these women's things historically, right? They learn it. But if you feel like the best thing that you can do is a bird motif, then you surround that bird motif with all kinds of geometry and diamonds, just like Carmen did. And you've got a composition that's ready to go. And it is going to shine when you're done. It is going to shine. Number 4 is you must vary the scale of your design elements. I think that one is amazing because, of course, when you're using things that are out of scale, it goes back to that Tamara Pavich chapter in her book about tall tales, about taking things to extremes, big, huge cats and little tiny houses kind of thing. But the idea of folk art, right, is that there is no emphasis on perspective or proportion, right? So we're not drawing a horizon line and using that as our base. If you're truly doing folk art in the primitive style, like these women are, you don't want things to be to scale. So it's a very good tip. If you're using two different birds, why not have a couple of birds really large and then a couple of birds really small? Stagger the sizes. It creates interest, and it really cements the folk look of your piece. Gosh, I'm already over the time. We'll just go a couple more minutes. Fifth principle of design: you must possess energy and vitality. It's its own life force. So, in other words, the energy, the color. Remember yesterday or the day before Zoom, I had on my black and white striped shirt because so many of the strips that they're using in these rugs has like a stripy effect: black, white, red, white. Any combo. And it's because they've cut up striped t-shirts. And when you do that, you get this really multicolored, color-changing strip. And you use those in strategic areas to outline. You couldn't do the whole background like that because there wouldn't be enough of shirt for that. But, you can outline and put it in certain places, and it really pops your piece. So in infusing that kind of color and vitality, don't shy away if you're doing this. Don't shy away from using rugs that have stripes and patterns. I used a lot of those. I forgot to bring mine because I'm working on it. The t-shirt rug with Jocelyn's design on it, my daughter. I'm using all her polka dot stuff and all her crazy stuff. It comes out different every time, and isn't that part of the fun of it? Is every time you pull a loop, it has a different little picture on it for you. It just keeps going and going and going. So make sure that you infuse your work, particularly if you're doing this kind of design, with energy and vitality. And the sixth rule for this, now this is not across the board, but the dimension of your border must be in proportion to the size of your completed design. So they like it when you have like a fairly small border. You're not seeing with these rugs, you're not seeing the giant primitive borders. You're not seeing a heavy border. So it's just, for these rugs, this is the way that they're working, this kind of thing. Now this is the work of Glendy Emiliana Moy Mendoza Durbarino, 33 years old. Glendy is calm. She has a calm, capable presence in the midst of chaos. Her training began as the eldest of 10 children. At the age of 8, she was sent to babysit for a neighbor part-time. The $4 she earned a month didn't go far, to say the least, right? There were many mouths to feed. This is, like we said last time, this is the story of so many women here. She gets married at 17. She's in charge of her own household. She has the opportunity to make some money, and she should, right? Anybody would. So this is her, and I'm going to show you her rug, and we'll end on that for now. She's so pretty, isn't she? Talk about vitality in life, right? And this is one of her gorgeous rugs. And again, check out the border, check out the repeat design. We always say, when you repeat something, you have a double of something, like a sort of fracture idea. It's going to be a winning composition. It's a strong composition when you do doubles. And when you do a design like this with a double that has different colors, lots of interest. Look at that, just wide open space behind. It's a one shape motif. It's a bird. She put it on both sides. She connected them with a flower, and she just hit or missed the edges and put the diamond border up on it. So, hey, if you can draw a bird, if you can draw one bird, you can do a composition like this. Just think it's extraordinary what these women are doing. Let me show you a couple more of her rugs, and then I'm going to stop. These look like, this one looks like a crazy quilt to me. It's so involved. I mean, isn't that something? See the moon in there? They're going a lot to the flowers, birds. Nature, of course, is a really important thing. And design, shape. There she is again. What a pretty girl. She's doing it, right? God bless her, she's doing it. She's got the opportunity to do something, and she's taking it, and good for her. These rugs are so beautiful. You've just got to go to the website and check out what they do. So we'll return to Rug Money, and I'll be in touch with Liz Marino in the meantime so that we can get the sort of first-hand stories of someone who's been here and done this and met these girls and these women. So in the meantime, I saw a lot of questions that I couldn't focus my eyes on. Oh, good, April. Yeah, it's the best book on the subject, no doubt. Judy's book is the best one that's out there, no question. Good, you're chatting with each other. That's good. Frames using What kind of frames are they using? Good question, Heather. They're using mostly hoops. They're not using frames. One woman in this picture, this is the only frame I saw on the cover. Carmen's holding, I think that's Carmen, is holding like a table frame. And you see they've got like the gripper, like the carpet strips on the sides. But in most of the pictures, women are using the large embroidery hoops that we usually associate with quilting. That's what they're using. They're not using at all the kinds of frames that we use here. You know, and it just makes the point how many ways there are to skin a cat. We do tend to consume and to invest and to throw, you know, some people, and I am certainly one of them. When I'm approaching a new craft, I put a lot of money into it and I hoard, and I spend a lot of money hoarding, creating my stash and my supply so I'm ready to go. And it's often a way of stalling, isn't it? Collecting and preparing instead of doing. It's like it's a story that I think a lot of people can identify with. They don't do that. They literally sit down, take out a pen, draw right onto the backing, and start cutting T-shirts up with scissors. They just get going. They pop it into their hoop. They're there. There's not a minute to spare in their lives, and I think there's a lot to be said to that. There's certainly a lesson in that, but I think there's many lessons in this. The idea of just being more free, thinking more freely, thinking about the materials that you use. If you're approaching this as a beginner or you've been doing this for years and you're ready to try some new things, why not try t-shirts or different materials? Try something different. Try ripping or try using scissors. Put away the expensive cutter or just don't buy one yet. You know, there's so many different options, and certainly using a quilt frame is an option. I just want to point out as a last thought that if you are a puncher, you use a quilt frame because you're punching down and all the pressure's going down like a hammer. If you are hooking, you're pulling up. So if you've got a quilt frame, it's not always, if you have more options than a woman living in Guatemala, it is not always going to be the best option because you're pulling up, and one hand is going to have to hold your hoop down while the other one pulls up to counter the motion and the sort of violence of pulling loops through, right? So it's just a thought. I wouldn't choose a plain hoop unless you're just beginning and you want to see if you like it. It will be fussy and it has the potential to be very frustrating and put you off because a hoop is not ideal for hooking, but that is what they're using because they must. So anyway, everybody, I just want to remind you again, I'm not doing cocktail night tomorrow night. I am so sorry. I will make it up to you. The following Friday night will be our rug hooking bingo night, and I will be ready for that. I will see you on Monday for coffee time. If I find any wonderful rugs this weekend, I will show them to you if I get them. I usually don't unless I'm really in love, but if I see any, I'll post them on the Facebook group so you know what store to call to see if they can ship them. You know, if I find good things, I always post them on the Facebook group, Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club. So you'll know what I'm seeing and what I'm doing. And if I make any great discoveries, you know that I'm going to share them with you. I'm going to get all the swatch orders out. Let me know if you're swatching it up because, like I said, I only have a couple more lots of this to go. And whoever gets it first, see if you can post the mystery pattern for everybody because I think it's really cute. But have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Have a great Friday. I will certainly miss connecting with all of you, but I'm on my phone always. And have a great weekend. Be happy, be productive. Judy, thank you for coming on. I'll be in touch with Liz, and let's see if we can do some fun stuff next week together. We'll wrap up the rug money, and we'll look at some rugs in person, and then we'll move on to some of the other books that we were talking about earlier. Have a great weekend, everybody, and let me know if you liked any of these rugs. I'll get up as many as I can today and hopefully some more. I'm going to keep the thread going so I don't get cut off. Happy weekend.